All right, guys, just want to welcome back to your Everything College Football podcast. Today I'll be doing my preview and prediction for the famous Idaho Potato Bowl between Northern Illinois and Fresno State going down Monday, December 23rd at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. NIU 3-point favorites, 39.5 is the total. This is a game that's littered by opt-outs, injuries, transfer portal. It's full of it in this game. It's going to be a tough one to predict indeed going down in Boise. Look at the NIU offense on this Fresno defense. For NIU, look at they're going to be out their top quarterback and receiver. Both of those guys have transferred. Ethan Hampton, Trayvon Rudolph. Second leading rusher, Ontario Brown, looks like he won't play due to injury. So that leaves you kind of in flux. You're looking at a quarterback in Josh Holst, who really hasn't played that much. 47 completions on 81 attempts. Got the start against Toledo. Only manufactured 6 points in that one. Completed under 50%. Did have 210 yards, no TDs, no interceptions either. Played a little bit the next week against Ball State. Did have a pick. Completed 70% in a 2-point loss. And then before that, he played a solid bit against Bowling Green in a victory. So not much here. And when he's been on the field, really hasn't been able to manufacture a whole lot. So it's really hard to assume he's going to do much in this matchup, especially down a great receiver. Cam Thompson and Grayson Barnes will be your next two top players. Andrew McElroy as well. These guys all have 200-plus yards. Neither of them have topped 400 yards, though, so it's not going to be an abundance of production here from this passing attack. It's not great. You got three very important players on offense not going to be able to get the go. Most important thing for NIU, though, is this is still a very good rushing attack. Gavin Williams, a senior runner, 741 and 4 touchdowns. And then Telly Johnson, a freshman, has really been pressed into action, burning his red shirt. 85 carries, 424 and 4 touchdowns over the last 5 games. Those are very respectable numbers. This is a pretty good rushing attack, though. They put up over 200 yards per game on the season. Of course, they had almost 200 in the season week 2 victory at Notre Dame. Major victory there. They've been able to really produce at a high level for the most part in MAC play. This is a rushing attack I think will be unbothered unless Fresno State really wants to load things up and defend this rushing attack well. The run defense, pretty good. 137.5 yards per game allowed. They got burned against the Air Force for 344 and 80 attempts, though. I mean, they were on the field a lot in that one, so we're getting grinded down on. Gave up 250 plus to UNLV as well. So against these tougher rushing attacks, it's not exactly been pretty. They've been on the field a whole lot. For Fresno, this is a defense that's also going to be loaded with a lot of guys not playing, it looks like. You have 6 starters at minimum, including Phoenix Jackson and Jacob Holmes in the front 7, 2 important guys there. Starting corners, Alzelion Hamilton, Julian Yale aren't going to be playing. So it's really hard to get a tough read on this one, but that's a lot of production that's going to be missing. Those 2 guys in Holmes and Jackson are the top 2 tackle for loss guys. They're also first and second in sacks. Makai Langley at linebacker, he's going to have a big role. Corey Foreman as well is really going to have to step up. They do have their top linebacker, Tuazavi Nomura, 97 tackles. Looks like he'll be playing in this game, though, so that's certainly very important for them. But I certainly think the run defense is going to struggle in this game. Pass defense throughout the year, they've snagged 14 interceptions, only allowed 54% comp rate, 217 yards per game. So the secondary's been good this year, but that's a lot of guys you're going to be losing. One of your starting DBs in Cam Lockridge that didn't play over the final two or three games of the year. Had 5 interceptions. Looks like he's not going to be playing in this one due to injury, and he's going to get ready for the NFL. So, I mean, there's just a lot of guys that are going to be down in this game on this defense. It's going to be hard to anticipate they're going to be good to go in this game. So where are they going to really generate run-stopping prowess from? It's really hard to tell. They do have a couple of veterans still playing that I already alluded to in that front 7. For the most part, though, this is going to be a tough ask for this defense. Same thing can go for NIU, but I think that them having their entire offensive line play, this is a head coach that loves to run the football, and they're incredibly built on physicality and just overwhelming their opponent. And they still have some good players on the offensive line playing. Evan Buss at right tackle, a right guard, and Josh Champy as well. So I think NIU has a clear advantage here, despite them being down their top receiver and quarterback. Now you move to the other side of action. Fresno's offense taking on a NIU defense. Fresno, another team that's also going to be down their top receiver, Magdalena, and their top quarterback, Mikey Keene. One's going to the NFL. The other one, the quarterback, is in the portal. Joshua Wood, Jaden Mandel. Neither of these guys have really taken many snaps this year. And one of those guys will be the quarterback. Hard to really get a read on what these guys can provide. And they're not going to have much, production around them. Jalen Moss, he's a good receiver. Raylan Sharp, I think potentially he's in the portal as well, so that's another guy that's not going to be great for them. It looks like Moss is also in the portal, so there you go. His 3 top receivers are going to be out, it appears, for this game. So Fresno's going to be in a lot of peril here. You're going to be looking to, fourth string, third string guys and getting on the field. Josiah Freeman looks like he's going to be have to be big for them. Richie Anderson as well. Cameron Beckman. Those two of the guys I just named are tight ends. They really don't have that much production this season. So, I mean, this is a team that's incredibly beaten up due to what's going on with the portal and the draft and all that. This passing attack probably just not going to be able to do much. And I know they're not facing the greatest of defenses in terms of, defending the pass. They're 15th in points per game allowed, and overall 281 yards per game are allowed. And I certainly thought at full strength they probably could have some advantages through the air. But NIU, they have a heck of a pass rush, 34 sacks. Looks like Devontae O'Malley, their top defensive tackle, should be playing. Roy Williams, one of their top defensive ends as well. He'll be in this game. Skylar Gill Howard looks like he's not going to be playing. He's a starting defensive tackle. And then defensive end Jelani Williams probably isn't going to be getting the go as well. So, I mean, this is a game just loaded with opt-outs and all that nonsense that's going on through college football right now. We're still here to give an accurate prediction. There's still, a game that has to be predicted for those that participate in Bowl Mania. I would certainly think that the advantages are going to be aligned with Fresno State. Their starting safety, Santana Banner, he's also going to be out. They're still going to have plenty of guys playing in this game. I alluded to O'Malley. He certainly wants to go out and put on a show. Two veteran linebackers, Jaden Dalton, leading the way with 55 tackles, and then 54 for Christian Furman, another veteran there. So there's going to be a handful of guys that are going to be still playing in this game. 8 interceptions on the year. Nate Valcarcel at safety. He's probably going to be their top defensive back that they're going to lean on now in this contest. It's not going to be too hard, though. Jacob Finley, a nice corner, as well as 8 pass breakups. I certainly think that Fresno, they're just going to struggle in this game because the rushing attack isn't very good. Elijah Gillum, he's going to be playing in this game, 466 and 8 touchdowns, only 96 yards per game. That's one of the worst in college football for Fresno. So they're going to have to lean heavily on this rushing attack. And this is a run defense that's pretty good. So it's going to be tough for Fresno to generate much. Malik Sherrod, he's a good running back. He's been hurt for a couple of months now. I don't think he'll be getting the go. So it's really just going to be up to Gillum and these young quarterbacks. We'll see what they can provide. I'm not really sure what their skill sets are. NIU, though, this is a defense, even despite having a few starters out, they'll be able to provide plenty. Haven't been bad at all this year against the run. They've been very good against the pass. They haven't been the best, but it's certainly, because they play against weaker competition. I mean, 169 yards per game is great. 52% comp rate is also phenomenal. But in a matchup like this, they probably would have struggled a little bit more. But for the most part, no, they haven't been cracked once this season, so I think there was a big advantage there. That leads me to the final prediction. I'll just go ahead and take NIU. Low-scoring game. Neither team has any type of certainty on the offensive side of the ball. Only thing that's really a given is that NIU is going to have 2 respectable runners in their full starting offensive line. And I think that's going to be a big advantage against the team. It's probably going to be missing half their defense, and you really don't know what they're going to get at quarterback because they haven't played, and they also have receivers that have never really played either. So on top of that, you have a run game that's horrid. So 2013 for me, very low total. I think it's up to 40 now. I'd probably be all over that. Obviously, turnovers can play a big factor into that over being hit, short fields and whatnot. And there's a big possibility that you're going to see a lot of those outside of mishaps on special teams. I think that most teams will avoid those, but in terms of fumbles, interceptions, and that stuff to set up these short fields for more points, that's something you got to look out for. But if we can play a relatively clean game, I think you'll see this under hit with ease. I'll take NIU to win and to cover. That's the only advantage right now that I think is major would be that rushing attack against this defense. That's the one group that's relatively still intact for either of these teams. So NIU, they're going to get the job done here in the Idaho Potato Bowl. Kind of a boring matchup on paper, but Bowl Mania is phenomenal. And again, there's a game to be predicted here. That's going to be mine for today. Good start to the year so far in Bowl Mania, an 11-1 run to get the year started. Can't wait to see how this one plays out. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.